I think you bounce back by just coming back in the building, getting back to work, and finding ways to improve. Keep stacking the days and keep that mindset that it's a long season. We just got to take it a week at a time and get back to that 1-0 mindset.
Does the confidence get shaken after a day like that?
No, I mean I think after a game like that, I think it's always tough. You got to, but I think those are the times you got to look yourself in the mirror, look at the tape, figure out where you need to improve, what we did not a good job of, and go from there. But everybody's got to be honest with themselves. And just look in the mirror and find ways to get better.
Facing the Super Bowl champions, how much do y'all see as maybe like a measuring stick to see how far y'all have come since the playoffs last year?
Yeah, no, they're a good team. Obviously, two losses against them last year, so it's going to be a test. We know that it's Monday Night Football. It'll be a great atmosphere, and it's going to be a test. It's going to be a bounce back week for us, and like I said, we just got that mindset to focus on us and our process and all the little details, and just have that mindset to go out there, start fast, and play our best ball Monday.
Jordan, what can Luke Musgrave give you that maybe is not different than what somebody else can bring, and how do you bring that out?
Yeah, no, I think Luke does a lot of things well. I think his speed is something that is I feel like not a lot of tight ends have that, and it's definitely a weapon. And it's just I think with Tuck being out, he's going to have obviously a lot more reps, and it's just maximizing all those reps and finding ways to improve and just keep stacking it. But he does a lot of good things. I think he's got a lot better in just the pass game, his route running ability, and I think his confidence for himself is pretty high right now. So it's just continue to keep building on that and improving on all the reps he gets.
You said in the past that you like to play aggressively. How is this challenging you if teams are going to take that away?
Yeah, I mean it's always a challenge. If teams want to take the deep ball away, it's one of those things where you just got to find ways to keep attacking, whether it's short of the coverage or just check downs. Just find ways to find completions, and then when you do get those ops to take a shot downfield, it's just maximizing them and hitting on those deep balls. But it's always about finding ways to take advantage of whatever the defense is doing, whether it's staying in shell, playing man, pressuring, whatever it might be.
So you dink and dunk your way down the field, and how do you get the ball into the end zone? Because obviously you guys have done a good job red zone all year until last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to find ways to score touchdowns. Like I said, whether it's running the ball, just executing on some of the ops that we have there, and the receivers going up and making plays. Just got to make plays, and then, like I said, just keep going.
Jordan, what's this offense going to miss most without?
I think there's a lot of things that Tucker did a very good job of, whether it's blocking, obviously his impact in the passing game, but I think all those things will be missed by him. So it's I think it's on everybody in that tight end room and other receivers, things like that, to step up and kind of fill in that void that we'll be missing. But Tuck definitely brings a big part of our offense to life, and we'll be missing that.
You've used the word consistency, striving for consistency about your own game, but the offense in general. How do you avoid this erratic, a couple of games where offensively it just hasn't been there? Other games, you guys put it up second half in Pittsburgh, Dallas, whatever. How do you get away from that erratic nature, if at all possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all comes back to the details. I think there's been games where we've been really crisp, executing at a high level, and then, like you said, there's these other games where it's just some of the details aren't, the focus, and we're just not hitting the same way we are. And so I think it's all about the details, just focusing on doing your job to the best of your ability. And if, some stuff, if it's not working, whether it's the calls or whatever, then it's not working. But understanding that the process, the details, we're doing everything right as players to be in the best position. So I think we just got to focus on keep doing that because you could tell when you look at the tape, sometimes the details are just off. And that's where we might have some negative plays that are holding us back and making it to where we're not as consistent as we need to be.
You look at the Eagles' rankings and on a lot of major defensive categories, they're not that high, yet they're still winning games, have one of the best records in the NFC. Just what sticks out about them on tape?
No, I mean, they're still a really good defense. We've seen a lot of them, obviously playing them twice last year, and they're a great defense. They got some really good players over there, so definitely got a lot of respect for them. And that's where I think we just got to do a good job of trying to find ways to take advantage of what they do. But I think they mix stuff up a lot. They got a really good defense coordinator over there. So, they do stuff well. Their stats might not be as well, but yeah, it's just I think teams have had success when they hit on their plays and they don't miss ops and leave stuff out there. So yeah, I think quarterbacks have done a good job kind of making plays, scrambling, doing some off-schedule things because they do a good job, I think, initially with some of their coverages and being sticky. So there's definitely plays to be made out there. We just got to go hit.
When you think back to that playoff game and going up against the defense, I know they don't have some of those guys that they did last year, but there are some returners, same defensive coordinator. What was the challenges that you remember from that playoff game against them?
Yeah, it's a little bit of the same stuff, same style of defense that we saw last week. So, and I think what they wanted to do versus us was the same thing, kind of keep a shell over the top of the defense and not give us some of those explosive plays. And, I think you look back to the first game, we put up points and we were able to hit some big-time plays. I thought the run game was going really well. And then you look at the playoff game, and I think we just didn't hit on some of those big plays. We had some turnovers. And so it always comes back down to that, just taking advantage of some of the opportunities we get, scoring in the red zone when we get the ball down there, and being able to run the ball well. They got a very good, I think, front interior D line, so we've got to find ways to maximize that run game.
Jordan, in your first year as a starter, you guys ran the tush push 5 times. I think you were successful with it 4. You guys haven't run it since. Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure why it is. I think, obviously, I think Matt's talked about trying to keep me out of some of those situations, taking some different hits and things like that. But, I think we've done a good job in some of our third downs and some of our other situations. I mean, we got Josh Jacobs where, you just turn to hand him the ball too. So who knows what the reasons might be. I know a couple years ago we got dinged with a couple penalties, things like that, when we ran a couple QB sneaks. So, I think when you have a running back like that as well, you just want to, hand him the ball in some of these short yardage situations and let him go get it.
Golden had a pretty good stretch of games with big plays and some good numbers. Hasn't had that the last couple of games. Especially without Tucker, how do you get Matthew Golden again? Matthew going again?
Yeah, I think you just got to keep finding ways, trying to give him the ball and maximizing opportunities when he does, get the ball, maximizing yards after catch, things like that. But yeah, I think obviously without Tuck being out there, there's going to be more opportunities for a lot of guys. So now it just comes down to making the most of those ops when it comes your way.
Jair Alexander has joined the Eagles. Years ago, I remember after a Friday locker room, him doing like Michael Jackson moonwalk out to the parking lot. What do you remember about Jair like that as a teammate or character?
Oh yeah, I mean Ja is definitely a character. I got a lot of great memories from being here with Jair. Obviously, he's a phenomenal player, and so we'll see what it's like if he's going to be out there, and what the situation might be coming Monday. But yeah, definitely got a lot of respect for Ja. He got to be aware of him when he's out there on the field, wherever he is at. So we'll see what the situation is. But no, definitely got a lot of great memories from Ja being here.
When he came up behind you and put you in a headlock in front of all of us and said best QB in the league, I don't think we'd actually had a game from you yet. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The season hadn't started.
Mm-hmm.
In all seriousness, did that mean something to you that he did that in front of everybody?
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely meant a lot to me. I think Ja's one of those players that, I got a lot of respect and a lot of love for him to do that. Like you said, maybe I hadn't played yet, but obviously got against him in practice. So definitely meant a lot for me. It builds confidence to have, the guys in the locker room, vouching for you in different situations. So it was cool, but, that's Ja. You never know what he's going to do. Wasn't expecting it, and it was a pretty funny moment. So, yeah.
Divisional games obviously are important on this league. Are other regular season games bigger than others, and if so, how big is Monday night?
Say it again, sorry.
Are games this time of year bigger than others, and if so, how big is Monday night?
I mean, I think, we got to take advantage of every game. You can't let any game kind of, look past any game, kind of look forward to other games. So it's that mindset of just going 1-0. But yeah, I mean, having 2 L's to this team last year, losing the playoffs in them, definitely a team, you make playoffs, you're going to see a team like this again. So, yeah, definitely. You got to maximize these opportunities, and you want to go win this game. But I think whoever that is, we got that mindset, we're going to go 1-0 every week.